Greetings and blessings, dear friends in the Spirit 111. It's Eddie Louisi. How are you? How was your week? Today's talk I am calling Release and Renew 2022. This is a booklet I received from Unity. And this Wednesday starts Ash Wednesday. It's the beginning of Lent for Christians. And I want to share some readings from that little pamphlet. So I hope you stick around and listen. Also, at the very end, I'm going to say a little prayer for Ukraine and a little reflection from a friend in the Spirit 111. So today, this is recorded on February 27th, Season 3, Episode 9 for you podcasters. Lent, a time to let go. More than a century ago, the founders of Unity began to discover the power of positive thought. They quickly learned that affirming a happier life worked better if they first released any negative thoughts, doubts, or fears. Lent is the perfect season to practice letting go of dark worries and renewing our awareness of the good that always surrounds us. If you want to give up something for Lent, consider releasing the thoughts that keep you from expressing your highest self. If you want to celebrate the light that Easter brings, practice renewing your mind with uplifting thoughts and inspiring affirmations. In this Lenten season, know that you are blessed with the power to release any thoughts, feelings, or behaviors that have been holding you back, and to renew your mind through Christ in you, your hope of glory, from your friends in Unity. Okay, so I'm going to read from this. I Xerox it. It's easy to read. Easter, Your Overcoming Power by Reverend Galen McDowell. Easter has fascinated people for almost 2,000 years. Even during the early days of the Christian church, people wondered whether the resurrection of Jesus was true. They searched their own sacred scriptures and traditions to help them comprehend what the event meant for Jesus, themselves, and the world. They discovered the resurrection was Jesus' experience, but it wasn't about Jesus. The resurrection was and is a reminder of God's grace and power functioning in humanity. Easter is a story about the overcoming power of God in an individual life. Easter is a reminder that we have within us the power to overcome any obstacle in our way. It is the power to heal our bodies through prayer and spiritual practices. It is the power to forgive and move on from past mistakes, hurts, and poor relationship decisions. Easter reminds us that we are prosperous even when our bank account doesn't yet reflect abundance, because we know we are connected to the source of all good. The resurrection represents our power to overcome, to restore, to renew with health, peace, love, prosperity, and joy, whatever it is we are trying to revive. God is within every person as the Christ, God's idea of itself in humanity. The Christ, or the I Am, is the fullness of God expressing individually as every human being. The Christ in you has never been sick, broken, or unhappy. The Christ in you is your true spiritual wholeness that transcends your mental and physical natures. Therefore, you can proclaim your spiritual wholeness in the midst of any storm when you understand that God in you can never be kept in the tomb of fear, despair, lack, sickness, confusion, and doubt. Jesus understood the power within himself, and he urged his followers to accept the truth about themselves. He knew that you can't outperform your own consciousness. You are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but is thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. That was received from Matthew 5:13-16. Jesus taught that we can demonstrate the overcoming power of God as he did, and assured we could do even greater deeds. He wanted us to ask in his name or in awareness of the Christ potential within us. You have overcoming power. You have the ability to succeed. You have the authority to prosper. You can command the life and intelligence in every cell of your body. You have dominion over the challenges of life. You have supremacy over your own thoughts and feelings. You can attract healthy and loving relationships to you. You can build your business. You can release the past. You can achieve excellence in your field of choice. You can transform your life now. However, you must be willing to get out of your own way and let God lead you. Willingness, obedience, and surrender are the keys to resurrection. The ego must surrender to the Christ of your own being. Jesus had to experience the cross before he experienced the resurrection. We have to cross out our beliefs that aren't consistent with the truth of our being. We have to be willing to surrender to the higher wisdom of the indwelling Christ. When we are willing to surrender, we gain conscious awareness of our own true spiritual nature. Once we understand who we are, we will view the so-called challenges of life differently, because we know we can come back from anything and overcome any obstacles in our way. We will then grow into the awareness that there is only God, and therefore nothing opposes us. Now they have this really nice thing in the booklet, release and renew. And it's releasing a line and then renew a line. I release problems that seem overwhelming. I renew my awareness of my spiritual nature. I release a habit of judging others. I renew my commitment to see the divine in all beings. I release doubt, confusion, and indecision. I renew my divine power of wisdom. I release my fear of moving forward. I renew my willingness to step out in faith. I release pessimism and negative thinking. I renew positive expectations. I release my habit of worrying. I renew my faith in divine order. I release discontent and criticism. I renew my gratitude in all things. I release any apathy or boredom. I renew my zeal and enthusiasm. I release any belief in limitation. I renew my sense of possibility. I release the fear of not having enough. I renew my awareness of abundance in my life. I release any drama or conflict. I renew my inner peace in spirit. I release any sense of discouragement. I renew my hope with the power of affirmative prayer. I release the habit of digging in my heels. I renew my practice of non-resistance. I release thoughts or fears of illness. I renew my openness to the healing power of spirit. I release fears of being alone. I renew my connection with spirit, self, and others. I release old grudges and resentments. I renew inner peace by forgiving. I release any need to complain. I renew my outlook through appreciation. I release anger and blame. I renew my patience and compassion. I release my darkest fears. I renew the strength and courage of my heart. I release the shadows of grief and sorrow. I renew myself in the serenity of silence. And like I said, this Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. If you're watching the video on Sunday, February 27th, if you're watching it later, well, Ash Wednesday might have passed already. But this is the reflection for Ash Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. I release problems that seem overwhelming. Some days I awaken feeling stressed and burdened even before my day begins. My to-do list is too long. I should have done more yesterday. A deadline is set for tomorrow. How will I do it? Pressures from the outside world and from my own inner expectations weigh me down. During these times, problems seem overwhelming. However, no matter the challenge or demand, I can be kind to myself. I pause and notice the sensations of stress and agitation in my body. Then I breathe long sleep breaths. I give myself the gift of a little breath, a little break, a short walk, a spiritual reading, a moment of prayer, or simply I go back and close my eyes. By taking time of the busyness of my day, I feel balance returning to my mind and body. In that moment, I can remember I am not on this journey alone. I remind myself God and I are together. We are in this life experience together. I don't have to carry the burden of my cares and concerns alone. I lean on the peace and strength of God, and the feeling of overwhelm begins to subside. And from Psalm 55:22, cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. So I'm going to end with a prayer for Ukraine and Russia, and then a sharing from a friend, Jess Powers. So this is a little prayer I found on Facebook. It's called Our Lady of Kiev. May those entwined in this moment of war be encircled in your peaceful love. Protect the innocent, heal the injured, comfort the bereft, transform aggressive minds, grow love in all hearts, show us hopeful, helpful action in this moment. Amen. And from Just Powers, for those who feel powerless to help. If you feel you cannot, for whatever reason, take direct action to relieve the suffering of those around the world, there is still something to be done. Turn within. Start questioning everything. Find where you are still judgmental, vengeful, shameful, guilty, and look it in the face. The evil we see outside lives inside all of us. It is something inherent in being human. Perhaps it's time to have the courage to address it. This is really important work that we can always be doing. Any one of us could become the next toxic world leader. Don't let it be you. Jess Powers. So, dear friends in the Spirit 111, we have war in Ukraine, and awful. It's absolutely awful what we're seeing in the news, on the news. And I pray for everyone in Ukraine, all the people in Russia that are protesting against this. So my heart goes out to everyone. I can't imagine what people are going through right now. So God bless you all. God bless all us here, friends in the Spirit 111, that we could pray and lift up people with this war in Ukraine, and pray that it doesn't spread and turn into a World War III. This Wednesday is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent. You heard some of the reflections and readings that I shared through Unity, Release and Renew. Maybe some things there you could offer up, not only for you and your family and your community and church and work, but for the people of Ukraine, people of Russia. I don't know what else to say. It's really a scary, sad time. My heart goes out to everybody. So don't forget to share your faith with family and friends. Stay blessed and a blessing. Cue the Spirit. Namaste.